Today's Debunking the Myth deals with the cold-fighting power of vitamin C. Does taking a few tablets when you have a cold really get you back on your feet more quickly? Or should you take vitamin C all the time in hopes of preventing sickness? Well, or is it worth taking at all? Joe, debunk the myth for us.
Well, Shirley, I think the myth is that taking vitamin C all the time prevents colds and prevents flu and just
allergies and all kinds of things,
right.
yeah.
The myth is that there's no scientific evidence of that. But I couldn't offer that information without offering the rest of this information. And the way that they do those studies, Shirley, is if they did a drug study that way, everybody would be walking around with 6 eyes and 3 noses because of the side effects of improper. Yeah. In other words, they'll give somebody a bunch of vitamin C, and then they'll give it to them for a period of time. This is the way they did this study. Excuse me, and then after a period of time, these people still got a cold. So they therefore concluded that vitamin C, doesn't prevent colds. Well, vitamin C, I'd supplement. That's something I would recommend that everybody should supplement on a daily basis. A couple of things here. They said too much vitamin C, 500 milligrams and more. Does that really cause stomach upset and diarrhea? The study showed that it did. Well, if that's so, I would spend most of my days in the bathroom because I take between 1,000 and 2,000 milligrams a day. Mm-hmm. Vitamin C is water soluble. If your body does not utilize it, you will pass it in your urine. And
it may be possible for some people to have a reaction, but it's certainly not a common thing.
Not at 500 milligrams. Sure,
that's nothing.
There are people who treat cancer with vitamin C, and I'm not saying that's a good thing or not, but they give those people 50,000 milligrams a day intravenously.
Oh my gosh. Well, now let me ask you this. How much vitamin C is in the total living drink?
1,000 milligrams, and that's a proprietary complex of bioflavonoids, which is the best way to take vitamin C is with bioflavonoids. The assimilation or the absorption is much greater. The other thing about vitamin C, though, Shirley, is that it's a good daily thing to take because your body will utilize. We're the only creature that does not manufacture vitamin C in the body. In fact, yes. So we have to take vitamin C supplementally. Great sources of it in food are, we know about oranges. It's actually a very negligible source of vitamin C.
Kiwis are very high, yes.
Probably the single food that's highest in vitamin C are red peppers. And I love eating red peppers. I don't like red peppers. Oh, I love eating red peppers raw as a snack. It's a great nighttime snack. Again, it's got good fiber.
Oh, you mean like a bell pepper, not a hot pepper?
No.
Like a red bell pepper.
Those big peppers you cut up. They're delicious. They are, and they're. So, but as an arsenal, as a daily arsenal, on this show, what we're trying to do is educate people to minimize their odds for illness, maximize their odds for health. There are no magic bullets, admittedly so. As far as hastening recovery from an illness with vitamin C, there isn't anybody, if they had 70 titles after their name, wouldn't impress me a bit. There isn't anybody that can tell me that a combination of vitamin C and echinacea and zinc, especially zinc tablets that you suck on, particular type zinc gluconate, do not hasten recovery. They do hasten recovery.
Yes, they do.
Is it a magic bullet? No, but it hastens recovery.
Research has actually shown that it will actually shorten the cold, but not prevent it, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Not prevent it. Well, they said that echinacea makes no difference whatsoever. Okay. Again, maybe echinacea by itself doesn't. So, you need some herbs, you need some vitamins. God made them all. So we need to incorporate them all, but that's kind of the skinny on vitamin C.
Well, and again, it doesn't hurt because it doesn't hurt you to take it, and I think
it
definitely
very
helps.
difficult to have any negative effects.
I think
very
it helps.
difficult.
Well, we got an email from Barbara in California, and she asks if a question about stomach stapling and if that's still in practice or not. And of course, a gastric bypass, isn't that kind of the same thing? I don't know. But anyway, our resident family doctor, Dr. Walt Larimore, has got an answer for her. So here's Dr. Walt Larimore.
Well, the answer to your question is yes. Stomach stapling still is in practice, but it seems to be growing out of favor. And the reason is that sometimes the staples that are placed in the stomach to make it smaller will come loose or will come out. So bariatric surgeons, the surgeons that do this type of surgery, seem to be favoring bands that can be put around the stomach or even around the food tube, the esophagus. Some of these bands can even be adjusted without further surgery, and they can be moved without surgery. So I think we're seeing a tendency towards using the bands more than the stapling, and overall for most people, that seems to be a good move.
Well, there's been a lot of advancement in, gastric bypass surgery and all that kind of stuff for people who are obese and really having a problem. And to me, it's very sad that a person would have to go to that, but I know it's helped a lot of people too.
Well, if you're obese, Shirley, drastic times call for drastic measures.
Right.
I think what scares me is what we're seeing in our culture of how many people are quick to go to the liposuction and quick to go to these kind of things just for cosmetic improvement. I know there's a lot of industry out there that's making significant amounts of money on this. People do want to look better.
But I don't think many people would go through that.
No, I think
just
stomach stapling is that is a drastic measure.
Huge.
But that whole area of intervention for weight control.
Yeah.
We go back to it's a rare exception. I guess all exceptions are rare, but it's quite the exception for somebody not to be able to lose weight through lifestyle changes and dietary changes. That is a rare exception. That's what we want to be able to educate people on the show, is that it's what you do most of the time. And I think, Shirley, if we had to put in a couple sentences what we would be able to accomplish for people on the show, is that because people say stuff to me all the time, little digs and comments and questions or whatever, and I don't know how long I'm going to live. God only knows that. And when God says it's time to come home, that's non-negotiable.
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm talking about, what we're talking about on the show, is while you are alive, live.
Yeah, I mean, I love what George Burns said. He said, he who lived to be 100 or something, he said, if I'd known I was going to live so long, I would have taken better care of myself. And the whole point is, the fact is, he lucked out. That's the fact. But the fact is, we are living longer, but we want to live healthier. We want to enjoy those years.
Because you don't know. You just don't know. Well, we're going to take a break. If you would like a copy of the show, call 888-242-9393. Now, coming up, are you tired all the time? Well, Dr. Karen Bergner from the Dreyer Medical Clinic is here to talk about chronic fatigue and how to tell the difference between just being tired and actual chronic fatigue syndrome. Stay tuned. This is going to be fascinating.